Hey, what's up, Taurus? Well, it's I don't know, it's like 3:30 in the morning or something like that. And I thought about doing your reading earlier, and Pisces went so long, and I was like, man, I just can't. And then I was on some other work. The same thing happened the other night with Leo. Started tapping into your energy, and I really felt like a bull. I was like breathing. I said, I can't pass this up. I am so tapped into Taurus right now. I have to do it. So, when I was shuffling your cards before I turned this on, because there's no way I was going to let this video go as long as Pisces. I've got to get some sleep. But I got to this deck at the last one, and these two cards came out, and I had this thought. I was like, oh, come on. And all of a sudden they just and they just like flew out across the table. So real quick, these messages may or may not resonate with you. Take what you need. I guess discard the rest of it if it doesn't make any sense, but it could. I mean, some of these things may not be going on in your life now. They could happen in the future. Some of these events could have happened in the past. I don't see very, like, years and years down the line. I'd say like a year out, maybe a year and a half, something like that. Also, make sure if you're not getting your message here that you check your moon and rising signs, and if somehow this ends up being about love, check your Mars and Venus placements too, specifically your Venus. Also, check your Vedic placements, your Vedic chart. One thing I forgot to mention in my other readings, I think that if you check the dates of your horoscopes, check if you're on the cusp, say between like the, I don't know, 18th and maybe like the 22nd or 23rd in some months. If you're a cusp sign, watch both of those readings, because there will be messages in both months or both zodiac signs for you. Okay. This was what I see here. The Fool. This is the only time I've been reading cards for a few years now. I think this is the only time I've had the Fool come out. And all three of my decks. I thought, there's a message here. But this, like, I don't know if it was, I think it's like anger. There's anger here. You're mad. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a person. It could be a situation. I'm seeing for some of you it's a person. For some of you it's a situation. For a lot of you it's with yourself. And there's nothing wrong with being mad at yourself. As a matter of fact, it's kind of healthy, because it shows that you have some level of, your self-awareness. It's like, okay, I shouldn't have done that, but maybe it's too late. But let's go ahead and start here and see what happened. Okay, so first you had the Fool come out. Could be something to do with an Aries or a Pisces. Very likely here with the major arcana being the Fool. There's three of them, so it's very prominent Aries, Pisces that is going on here. Something with the Aries or Pisces. A Six of Fire, or the Six of Wands. Journeying off, change, movement. Six of Wands. I need to check something really quick, because I can't remember. It's odd for me. I usually remember everything. See, the Six of Wands or the Six of Swords, I know everything in the Rider-Waite deck because it's the deck that I've been using since the beginning. And with this one not having the wands on it, what I'm getting at is one of the cards, and I can't remember if it's the Six of Swords or the Six of Wands, but one of them. Oh, okay, no, it's not the wands, it's the swords. Okay, because there's a Six of Wands here. Okay. Never mind. Okay, because what I was getting at, the Six of Swords can sometimes represent a death. But it's not it. The cards up here and the cards down here, because sometimes I can look at this as like the past, present, and the future. I haven't really been doing that because the whole thing's been playing out, but there's some of the same energies coming off these cards as here. It's like a repeat. Okay. You took a chance here. You took a chance on something. I'm getting, it felt like you were in heaven. Like you were really happy. I'm just feeling, I'm getting like this heavenly energy off of this. I mean, look how happy this person is, like, just, and I know this has to do with typically has to do with a decision. But you're just, like, whatever was going on here, things are really good so far. Something happened. I don't read reversals. I usually can get the energy off the card. This would still probably be upright. And the Wheel of Fortune doesn't always have to be a good card. And I'm not trying to make this a bad reading, but I'm seeing here like the energy that I'm getting off of this card with the 5 and like the black wings. Like black winged dove or something. Like there is, okay, so there is some kind of death going on here. Some kind of death. It could, and it doesn't have to be like a death of a person, the end of a job, the end of a commitment, the end of a relationship, the end of a marriage, but it could also be a death. Could have been a younger person. See, sort of can like represent a child. If that's the case, I'm very sorry, but rest assured they are in heaven. I hate it when I pick that stuff up. I know it happens, but yeah. Because you were inconsolable. I mean, you had to use your strength, but you were inconsolable. And I'm not just talking about the actual literal death. Like, I'm getting Taming the Beast. And that's the 8 as above, so below. Something happened here. It was the end of something, a marriage. I don't know. I don't think a job. I wouldn't be picking up the emotions from a job like this unless you were like married to your job, which some people are. And here, You don't want to go out and do anything or see anybody. I was drawing a blanket for something. What is this? Because there's like a celebration, and then there's the Nine of Swords. I was, what? Yeah, you're just so distraught. You just don't want to be around people. That could be one meaning. The other meaning here could be third party situation. You cheated on somebody, or somebody else involved, and now you're like, oh God, what did I do? I was such a fool. Why did I do that? Or you did something, you regret something. You and this is something different. This isn't about the like social anxiety thing I'm talking about. You jumped too soon. You did something that you regret. You did something too soon. And you felt stuck. I don't know why. For some reason, I've never gotten this before. This is making me kind of think of like Jesus on the cross. Whatever happened here, it's a pretty deep situation because I'm also getting like praying. Like maybe you weren't someone who prayed consistently in life, but you were praying. I don't know. What was one of my kids? When I was little, we'd be riding down the road, and I want to say it was my daughter. And at the like in the evening or like dusk when the sun would be shining through the clouds like that, and you get those sun rays, and she'd point up at the sky and she'd say, "Look, mommy, that's God's sun." That's what it reminded me of, like heavenly sun, something like that. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, there's different situations going here for different Taurus, and I'm sorry, but a lot of cards came out, so it makes sense, and I had no way of knowing how to group them at first until I got into like really reading them. And I guess I could have done that before I got on here, but I kind of like to go through the process with you guys. For the other situation here, you jumped too soon. And you had time, you had a chance. There was like a period of time where you could have done something and you didn't. I'm also getting the feeling that there's like an apology. Like you want to offer an apology, like you slowly, because this is the slow movement card, and then this is a cup of like emotions, like offering love, and because he's standing still, right? But he's red. So it's reminding me of love. This something has to do with love here, with somebody, love and an apology. Maybe somebody cheated on somebody. Yeah, somebody cheated on somebody, and they felt like a fool. And there was a period of time where they could have apologized, but they felt stuck and they didn't. Instead, they just sat there, and I'm getting love and anger, and they just like they were so mad at themselves, right? Like they just couldn't. And then I'm not sure if, because I'm sort of getting like a timeline sequence with this reading. So this would be now. This would be what's going on now. And not for all of you, but that's how this is coming out. I do readings like this all the time in sequential time. I have certain spreads I lay out, especially like when I do a Celtic cross for a private reading, but this just sort of happened that way. So you see how this horse has his head down like he's ashamed, and he's like almost like he's gonna test the water. So maybe somebody's gonna send you just like a little text message, or just, you know, something late, and, you know, just, hey, what's up, or, you know, something like that. Like they'll just kind of ease their way into it, because Taurus Taurus can suffer from, I shouldn't say Taurus, but Taurians, I'll call you Taurians. You guys can suffer for something that I call analysis paralysis, where you think about something, like you have a plan, which is usually pretty good because you guys are logical, you're grounded, you're, you know, earth. Emotions are something you are not good with. So you'll overthink, right? Until you're like this. And then you're stuck. Because you're just overthinking and overthinking, and you don't know what to do. And then you're sitting in your horse or in your car. It's running. You want to go find the person to talk to him, but you shut your car off, you know, because you don't have that, which it's a great inner mechanism to have. I wish I had it, because you have that ability to like shut it down. Like your sign doesn't typically just go without thinking about consequences. I'm not seeing that there would have been any horrible consequences out of this. But you don't have that, something that like a fire sign would just like get mad and just get in their car and like speed off and just say and do whatever, or, you know, something like that. Like you think a lot. Tangibility is a word that I associate a lot with Taurus. For some of you, there's still time. If something happened, if there was, okay, let me back up. If for the ones of you of the situation that there's a death involved here, if you're mad at yourself because you're not where you think you should be, I hope that you realize that that is okay, you could go through the many stages of grief, but that is a huge burden to place on yourself. That can't happen. Don't expect yourself. I mean, time. They say time heals. I guess. You're a strong sign. You are the strongest sign. I mean, you're the bull. But there's anger around this situation. There's even if it is a death, there's still anger around it. There's anger around this whole thing, and it's, like I said, it's not channeled for some of you at just one person. I'm not even getting that it's at one person. It's either at a situation or it's with yourself. Because I'm not seeing anybody here that you'd be mad at. It's a situation. It's a situation, and then it's like that inner angst that you have. You know that like feeling in your stomach when you know that like you've been like a shitty person, and you've done something like really, like, it's a conscience. It's conscience, right? And it's good to feel that. It's a good thing, because then, you know, like if you didn't, then you shouldn't really be out, walking the streets. But I mean, there's plenty of you out there, but not saying Taurus, but who are the narcissists in the Zodiac sign? Maybe you get some unhealthy Leos or some unhealthy Aries. I guess they could be. I guess every sign has some. Normally this is leaving somebody out in the cold. Right. But I still feel like this is a church for some of you. It might be a message because this is the future. Maybe you can find some consolation in church. I don't really go to church unless it's like a holiday or like a funeral I have to. Just, if I could go by myself, I would go. I just, when I tap into my spirituality, I like to be alone. I don't know how people do those group meditations and all that kind of stuff. I can't have people all up in my energy when I'm doing that stuff. I need my space. I need quiet. Praying and spirituality, it's personal. That's why I don't get at anybody about their religion. I don't know, to me it's a very personal thing. I don't mind talking about it, but I don't. That's why I don't think anybody should ever judge anybody about that. It's what, especially if they have a deep relationship with it. They do, and you do what you need to do you. Make it. I'm not seeing anything really bad even with this devil card. I just feel like the anger. I'm just getting the anger out of his eyes. Like he's mad at something. He's just really angry. Or here, maybe why, or oh God, what have I done? That kind of sense. Like these guys down here. It has to do with family. Definitely has to do with a family and a children. I didn't get. I thought these two came out. I need one more card here. Because this is, okay, well, I think that's all I can get for the ending of something that had to do with a family or a situation like that. But the other thing about this apology or this person or something you need to speak up about or something that you did, this person is not mad at you. Yeah. See? Okay. This always happens. Here's the Three of Cups here, right? It came out again. In reverse. I'm seeing some people here may have had a drinking problem. I'm getting that. Like an alcohol problem. There's nothing to be ashamed of about that. Some kind of maybe or an addiction problem. It doesn't have to be alcohol, some kind of an addiction problem. And they slowly, they realized that, I'm almost seeing all these dogs here as like, because the moon can be clarity. Now there's like 3 situations going on here. The moon can be clarity, and like these little doggies are like maybe your family doing an intervention or something. So there's some addictions going on around this, and somebody was like really, really worried about them, you, or they were worried about them, and for a while they were refusing to go get help. They were like being stuck and refusing to go get help, and while people were offering to them, and then they finally kind of like hit bottom, and then like became, I don't know, say born again Christians or something like that, but like, you know, put an end to, like, I'm seeing that as like skeletons in the closet, or like your shadow to their dark side or whatever. And they, you know, worked really hard and became, you know, and made peace with their toxicity, because the devil is toxicity. And then, you know, dumped out all their cups, and they were victorious, and people thought that, you know, really looked up to them, and even went on to help other people with addictions. I would say some of them maybe even became addiction counselors or something like that. That's a beautiful thing to do. That's cool for some of you Taurus. That's really sweet. Not sweet, but you know what I mean. That's nice. That's nice. It's always nice when you can heal from your pain and help other people. That's when you know that you've truly healed. I think that's the meaning of life too. I really do. Is to learn from everything, and to try to take, you know, your mishaps or a pain from the past and help other people. You know, so like anytime that you can help prevent any pain from anybody, I think, yeah, if we could live in a world without pain, that would be great. Now I'm just off of my little road thinking about like my little utopia I make up in my mind where I would love to live. I wish Stephen King could write a book about that. Just like under the dome, no pain. I'm going off. My Vedic Pisces coming out in my mind. I just did their reading and it's like still stuck in me. Okay, so like you have the moon here again. And the moon here. This is usually a card of hard work, right? But it came out with the 8 of Swords, and there's both 8s, right? So it's as above, so below. Two, 8, 1, 6, 7. 8 and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. July. Something about the month of July here. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that just hit me. But I'm sorry. I'm looking. Something here about you. I'm just digging deep. Because somebody caused somebody a lot of pain here. But the energy, like, you're mad at a situation, you're mad at yourself, but I'm getting like that was more in the past, right? If this is the person that had the substance abuse problem or whatever, you're mad about stuff that you did in the past, right? But you can't, no, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not going to be one of those people that tells you not to get mad about and forget your past. I am totally. You can move on from it, but I think when people try to tell you to forget your past, it's bullshit. You're not, look, Taurus, bullshit, right? You're not going to forget it. You're never going to forget it. Even if you say you're going to forget it, it's in there, and it's still going to manifest out in some area of your life, right? So the best thing to do, and here I am, you know, my pontification again, but the best thing to do is accept that that's part of you. It's who you are, right? Whatever you did or whatever happened, it's now part of you. Accept it accept what it is, even realize how it changed you for the good or the bad, but that's who you are now, you know? It's good, and it's because if you try to fight it, it's going to come out somehow against a new relationship, against people you don't want it to come out. It's going to come out. So if you accept it, channel it into something, work it out if you have to, or even go around being an angry person all the time if you want. This whole stigma about everybody having to be happy all the time, that's bullshit too. Because there is not one human being on this planet that is happy all the time, except for maybe Eckhart Tolle. I mean, he's like, I don't know. I wish I had his brain. He's made peace with everything. He lives in the moment all the time. Do you know how hard that would be to live in the moment all the time? To like not think about anything that happened yesterday or what's gonna happen tomorrow. The only way I could do that would be to listen to his audiobook 24/7 constantly, because look, I tried to do it and it works. Like if you're reading his book, but like once you stop, your mind's just gonna go back on autopilot, and you're gonna worry about what you have to do tomorrow and what you have to do next week. That's just, at least I do. I can do it, but it takes a lot of focus. And when you're doing a bunch of other stuff, anyway, I'm going off again on a tangent. But you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Like all this stuff that happened in the past, all this kind of nonsense. And I'm saying, yeah, you hurt this person, but I mean, they're not over it. They'll never be over it. And there's not one situation usually in a relationship where one person just hurts one person, the other person doesn't do something back. Something happened, but this person that you want to apologize to, or that you think you owe an apology to, this other person may not even feel like you owe them an apology. I mean, they just be like, okay. I mean, they might just like be hearing violence in the background. They don't care. But there's, red, right? Like Red Bull, red anger. There's a lot of pent up anger, and I'm really thinking there's a lot of anger with yourself and a situation. And when you think about it, you get this anxiety, and you start like breathing heavy, and you're just like this person's like consumed in red. It just like consumes you, and you're like, and it's unfounded, because whatever this is, the situation doesn't exist anymore. That's the one thing with a person. Yeah, you can apologize. A situation you can't change. So if it's a situation, like I said, you can't let it go, but there's no reason to my mind is like drawing blanks on words today. That's so strange. I guess I've been using so many words today and writing stuff. It's like looping mind. Yeah, I mean, just fixation. Sometimes it's a waste of time. I'm trying to see if I could give you the best advice for what to do for being fixated on something. You're fixated on something. Well, everybody tells you to exercise. But if you're fixated on something and you're feeling a little depressed, you're not going to feel like exercising. Okay, so like, if you're really, really mad, you can't do anything about the situation, but you really, really need to get, like, the anger out. Like, just, it's just 4 cards. Why are they all stuck together? They got wet earlier. That's why. Ew. I was, like, cleaning out my flowers, and, well, that's not really fair because they were stuck, and I don't really know. Yes, I was cleaning out my flowers. Let me shuffle these up again. Or I was taking out my dead flowers. I had dead flowers, and I got water on them. I put them on the heater, but they got dry. Anyway, what I'm saying is, like, just turn on some, like, venting music. Okay, so, like, what's that band called? The song is called, The Red. See, yeah, these were the right cards that were supposed to come out. There's anger here, red anger, and you really hurt somebody. Like this little deer, like I'm seeing, like there are sad little eyes, or his sad little eyes. Somebody was hurt. There is no mercy with any. You look at these; they're all predators. There's no mercy here. There's a lot of pain in red, and you see how this, it's just going around and around and around and around, looping, and you're thinking about this, but you're also thinking about, you know, going towards this person, and, you know, apologizing or saying something. If that's what clears your conscience, if that's what it is you need to do, fine. Do it. I mean, I've done it plenty of times, and the older I've gotten, the more I've done it, and it does feel good. It does feel good to clear your conscience that way. But most people, by the time you get to that point, they don't care. Because they've had to, just like you, they've had to get past the pain too. So yeah, put on some good music. What's another band? Oh, I like Filter. They're pretty, like, rage music. I don't know what kind of music you're into, or some good rap, whatever you like. Get in your car on a back road and just drive. Right? See, there's, like, steps that you have to take, kind of like when you get really mad like that, to calm yourself down. It will exhaust you, though. Like, if you just sit there and, like, think about it all the time, you'll get exhausted. And it's not proactive. Anger is a good, it's a good emotion to invoke proactivity, though, I will say that. I'm a fire sign, though, so of course it is. Anyway, yeah, all of this can just, you know, I hate to say this, but Taurus, you guys are so usually just, like, chill and, like, grounded, you know, like, for the most part. You just, until somebody really, I mean, they have to really provoke you. I mean, think about a bull. You gotta just put that, like, red flag in their face and just really, I mean, I think they even, like, when they bull ride them, don't they stick spikes on their boots and, like, kick them in their testicles or something like that? I mean, you gotta really, really hurt that bull. But it's gonna fuck you up, right? If it gets so bad, you're gonna tear into somebody. What's that movie? Was it Ferris Bueller? I don't know. No. It was The Breakfast Club. When the principal, and they were in there, I think it was like Judd Nelson was, like, giving him a hard time, and he, like, the principal was, like, putting his, you see this? Yeah, there you go. Like, putting up his hands like this. Yeah. You just gotta filter out some of this energy. And really, if you have to go apologize to this person, they're not I mean, they may like hate you, but they're not gonna like be. I don't think they're gonna be. Well, not all of them. I think some of them. I'm getting the feeling there are a few here that might just like put you in your place or something like that. But I don't know. I think you'll be alright. Do what you need to do to get yourself straight, I guess. If it was around the loss of a loved one, if you need to go pray or just talk to somebody, you know, there's just a lot of red. Maybe you need to go get a Red Bull. I heard that they were made with the bull testosterone or something. I don't know if that's true. I usually know all that chemical stuff too. I don't know if that's true. You can tell it's late because I'm rambling again. Well, anyway, I hope you were able to get something from that message. If you're getting the feeling that, like I'm saying, that you're just really, really grounded and stuff, and you're not really a grounded person, again, make sure to check your moon and your rising sign, and also check to see if you have, you know, heavy planetary placements in other signs or something like that. Air signs can be pretty, like, especially Libra and Gemini, they can be pretty, and Aquarius too. You know, they're the swords, so they can cut you. They can be kind of like that too. Yeah, so just check your other placement signs and see if this didn't resonate with you or something like that. But in the meantime, try to breathe. Oh, I also have, I don't know if you can hear it, but I also have the, in the background, this the binaural beats. At the, let me see. Yeah, it's the root chakra meditation binaural beats for, and that's the red. And that'll help too. Yeah. Yeah, and a chakra meditation, like clearing your chakras, that helps so much. I'm trying to think of like advice I could give you to try to help clear your energy. Epsom salt baths work really good. And even just like I don't know, I like went through this period where I was eating like a lot of like junk for like a couple weeks just because I had been running around so much, and I felt horrible. And I went for like, I just went to the store and I bought like all this fruit and stuff like that, and I just for like a week all I did was eat fruit and yogurt, and I felt so much better. And then like 2 nights ago I ate Burger King, and then a little while ago I ate a bunch of chocolate, so yeah, I messed that up. But you do feel better when you do that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. I need to get to bed. Good night. I think get my big hands on here. Good night. I'll see you in December. Bye.